When I first started dating my ex, she seemed perfect. She was romantic and charming, and there was nothing wrong. Or so I thought. I guess I should describe myself a bit. I'm a fairly tall guy with a lean build from years of running and hiking. My hair is a deep brown, kept short and neat, and my eyes are a shade of green that shifts with the light, often compared to mossy forests. I prefer casual, comfortable clothing, jeans and t-shirts most days, though I clean up well when the occasion calls for it. I've been told I have a warm smile, the kind that puts people at ease, though lately it hasn't been seen as often as it used to be. So coming back to my story. From time to time my girlfriend was broken and complained about not having any money, but then other times she'd buy me something expensive out of the blue. Everything she got me was from the same store, and she'd shower me with gifts and coupons to buy clothes from this one place. I started to feel a little suspicious, but then I'd worry that it was all in my head and that I was being a typical jealous boyfriend. She made me believe I was losing it. I started almost stalking her, looking into every little thing she did. After a year of dating, I found out she had been seeing another guy for longer than she had been seeing me. She started dating me while she was still dating him. She denied it and said I was crazy and that I needed therapy. But I went and talked to him, and my entire world fell apart. He lived in another state and paid all her bills. He worked at the store she always got me gifts from, so they were essentially all from him. She actually told me that she fell in love with me but needed to stay with him for financial reasons. Apparently, he paid all her bills: phone, internet, groceries, and even her medical insurance. She asked if we could stay together without the other guy finding out. But even after I told him, he said that he still loved her, and they broke it off. However, she ended up manipulating him into getting back together with her. I dumped her, but it was painful being cheated on and living a lie. I'm still trying to figure out how to deal with it. It all started so innocently. We met at a mutual friend's party on a crisp autumn evening. The leaves had just started to turn, painting the landscape in vibrant hues of red and gold. She approached me with a warm smile and offered to get me a drink. We spent the entire evening talking and laughing, and by the end of the night I was smitten. She asked for my number, and I eagerly gave it to her. The next day, she texted me, and our relationship took off from there. In the beginning, everything was perfect. She was attentive and always knew how to make me feel special. We would go on romantic dates, walking hand in hand through bustling markets and serene parks. She would surprise me with little gifts and sweet notes tucked into my jacket pocket. I felt like I was living in a fairy tale. She would call me every night before bed, and we would talk for hours. I couldn't believe how lucky I was to have found someone like her. But then, little things started to nag at me. She would sometimes cancel plans at the last minute, claiming she had an emergency at work. Other times, she would disappear for days without a word, only to reappear with some elaborate excuse. I tried to brush it off, convincing myself that she was just busy and that I was being paranoid. One day, she surprised me with a beautiful watch from a high-end store. I was thrilled but also confused because she had just complained about being broke the day before. When I asked her about it, she brushed it off, saying she had saved up for a while to buy me something nice. I wanted to believe her, so I did. As time went on, I noticed a pattern. She would go through phases of being broke and then suddenly having money to spend on lavish gifts. It didn't make sense to me. I started to feel uneasy, but every time I brought it up, she would accuse me of being distrustful and insecure. She would get angry and tell me that I needed to trust her if we were going to have a future together. I started keeping a closer eye on her. I would check her phone when she wasn't looking, go through her emails, and even follow her a couple of times. I felt guilty for doing it, but I needed to know the truth. It wasn't until I found a series of messages between her and another man that everything came crashing down. The messages revealed that she had been in a relationship with him for over 2 years, long before she met me. They were affectionate and intimate, and it was clear that they were still very much together. My heart sank as I realized that I had been living a lie. When I confronted her, she denied everything. She called me crazy and said I was making things up. but I had the proof in my hands. She couldn't deny it any longer. I contacted the other man, and we met up to compare stories. It turned out that he had no idea about me either. He was just as shocked and devastated as I was. He told me that he had been supporting her financially for years. He paid her bills, bought her groceries, and even covered her medical expenses. He worked at the store where she always got me gifts, which explained why everything came from the same place. She had been using his money to buy me things, making me think she was the generous girlfriend when, in reality, she was living off him. When I confronted her again, she admitted that she loved me, but couldn't leave him because she needed his financial support. She asked if we could keep our relationship a secret and continue seeing each other without him finding out. I was appalled. How could she think that I would agree to such an arrangement? I told the other man everything, and he was heartbroken. He broke up with her, but she somehow managed to manipulate him into getting back together with her. She was a master manipulator, and she knew exactly how to play on his emotions. I decided I couldn't take it anymore. I ended things with her for good, but the pain of betrayal lingered. It's been months since I left her, and I'm still struggling to come to terms with what happened. I feel like I lost a part of myself in that relationship. I question my judgment and wonder how I could have been so blind. The trust I once had in people has been shattered, and I'm not sure if I'll ever fully recover. I've started going to therapy to help me process everything. It's been a slow and painful journey, but I'm learning to heal. My therapist, Dr. Collins, has been a guiding light through this dark tunnel. In our first session, she helped me unpack the betrayal, gently guiding me to confront my emotions rather than bury them. We delved into my past relationships and patterns, shedding light on why I ignored the red flags. In therapy, I've started to understand the importance of self-love and setting boundaries. Dr. Collins introduced me to mindfulness practices, helping me stay present and manage my anxiety. She encouraged me to write a journal, a safe space where I could pour out my feelings without judgment. This practice has been incredibly cathartic, allowing me to track my progress and see my growth. Each week, I leave our sessions feeling a little lighter, a little more in control. We've worked on rebuilding my self-esteem, reminding me that the betrayal wasn't my fault. Dr. Collins helped me see that my ex's actions were a reflection of her character, not mine. Slowly, I'm learning to trust myself again, to believe that I'm worthy of a healthy, loving relationship. I'm also focusing on rebuilding my life. I'm surrounding myself with supportive friends and family who remind me of my worth. I'm pursuing my hobbies and interests, and I'm taking the time to rediscover who I am outside of a relationship. It's a long road, but I'm hopeful that I will come out of this stronger and wiser. Looking back, I realized that the red flags were there all along. I ignored them because I wanted so desperately to believe in the fairy tale. But I've learned that love shouldn't be based on deception and lies. True love is built on trust, honesty, and mutual respect. And when I find that, I know it will be worth the wait. In therapy, I've begun to understand that my physical and emotional well-being are intertwined. Dr. Collins often points out how my posture and physical tension reflect my internal struggles. She's encouraged me to engage in activities that help me release stress, like yoga and meditation. I've also taken up painting, which has been surprisingly therapeutic. It allows me to express my emotions in a way that words sometimes can't. I've come to appreciate the small moments of tranquility in my life. The quiet morning runs where the world is still waking up, the sound of birds chirping, and the cool breeze against my skin. These moments remind me that there's beauty in simplicity and that I can find peace within myself. Through this journey, I've realized that healing is not linear. There are good days and bad days, but each step forward, no matter how small, is progress. I'm learning to be patient with myself and to embrace the process of growth. I know that one day, I'll look back at this time and see it as a period of profound transformation. For now, I'm focusing on the present, on rebuilding my life one day at a time. I'm learning to trust people again, starting with trusting myself. And as I continue to heal, I hold on to the hope that I will find the love I deserve. A love that is honest, respectful, and true without betrayals, pain, and lie.